So I've been writing this screenplay basically about the trauma and turmoils of motherhood combined with the trauma and turmoils of childhood. Yes, that is genius. I have a suggestion actually. You should involve a mother, a bloody that she just finished that's hanging out of. I think that would be a phenomenal metaphor for what you're going for.
Here we go! This night, you're gonna find that nightmares do come true. We will find you. Trick or treat. This night, you're gonna find that people.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to 31 Days of Horror, Year 3. This is day 22. I am Morgan Film Fan. Let's jump into some scares. The Brood is a 1979 film from the famous David Cronenberg, second David Cronenberg film I'm reviewing in this film series. And what a slew of symbolism. My God. Did the guy just go for broke in using metaphors and symbolism for the themes that he was going for in this film. Now, Cronenberg is famous for body horror. It's in here. And famous for involving Toronto as his set city kind of thing. It's in here. And a lot of violence and a lot of gore. And what else can you expect from Cronenberg, right? Oh boy, synopsis-wise, there's two things going on in this film involving plot. So it starts off with, there's these two guys on stage, and I thought what I was watching was a play, basically. I thought it was some kind of art school. And these two guys are talking back and forth. One is portraying like an abusive father, and the other one is portraying a really emotionally damaged son, basically, which I'll get into a little bit later. But I thought I was watching this like play kind of thing where these two actors were on stage in front of an audience. But what it was an example for some kind of breakthrough psychiatric therapy involving where the person who's portraying the father is a psychotherapist, and he's trying to cure a patient, and he's trying to cure a patient as an example in front of an audience. So this practice that he does is it's wild. I mean, the whole movie you don't like this guy. At least I didn't. This guy seems like a nut job. He seems insane. And then as the story develops, he starts treating this woman named Nora, who has a husband named Frank. And Frank, it's not. I didn't really catch on why Nora ended up in the psychiatric hospital as well, other than child trauma, and she wanted to try this new doctor, I guess. But Frank, the father of their daughter, Frank and Nora have a child named Candace, or Candy they like to call her, and she ends up with a bunch of bruises and marks and bites on her body, and he's blaming the mother automatically. So he goes to this therapist. The therapist's name is Ranglin, Dr. Ranglin, and he accuses him of maltherapy and whatnot. So that's what's going on for that, and it follows Frank kind of questioning what Dr. Ranglin is doing, treating his wife. And then the second thing that's going on is there's these murders that happen basically involving children, and these children are kind of, I would say, demon-like, but the film just refers to them as like deformed, kind of maldeveloped children. And every murder that occurs, you have this kid in basically a snowsuit, because like they always have like their big like parkas on, and they're in, one's in a red snowsuit, one's in a blue snowsuit, and these kids are just murdering these people, and you don't know, like, it kind of comes out of left field. Like, where is this film going? First it's about psychotherapy, and now we have kids murdering, like, murderous kids going on. So you're kind of confused, like, the first two acts. You're like, where is this going to kind of lead? But it does lead somewhere in the end, and it's pretty bizarre, to say the least, anyway. But I fully enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the wild direction that it went in. But my God, like, the metaphors, man, the symbolism that Cronenberg decides to use, especially in the third act. I mean, I'm gonna say this right off the bat. There are things that once you see, you cannot unsee. So if you are squeamish, if you don't like, balls to the wall horror or balls to the wall gore, avoid this one, because like I said, there are scenes that you won't be able to unsee at all. I'm gonna leave it at that. But I did enjoy the film for what it was. I really enjoyed the plot and where it went. I'm gonna keep the whole third act spoiler free because there's no way to talk about it without spoiling everything. Yeah, like I said, I thought Raglan was crazy right at the beginning, and he's pretty much crazy throughout, even after the third act. But he's so crazy in acts 1 and 2 that you have no sympathy for him, and then when you get behind why he's doing what he does, then you start to be like, okay, you're still crazy, but at least you have a reason, right? Kind of goes into that territory. There's a guy that I was explaining in the first act, right at the opening of this film. The guy who was playing the patient, who Dr. Raglan was treating at the beginning of the film, where I thought this was a stage play. This guy is like it's when he talks, he just seems like such a victim, and the things he says and the dialogue, it's like, oh my God, it's just so hard to listen to because he's so destroyed by whatever he had, like whatever issues he had going as a child, whatever, because they don't get into his daddy issues, I'll say, and what happened with him as a child. But just the way he talks, he's just going like he basically talks like a 4-year-old the whole time, and he really helps the main character Frank out a lot throughout the film, especially in connection with what's going on with Nola and what's going on with Candace, their little girl, and what Raglan is doing that is extremely questionable with this whole therapy thing he has going on. But yeah, this guy in particular, whose name is... I actually didn't get his name. Funny. Yeah, I swear I thought I wrote his name down, but no, he's interesting. But he's very hard to watch and very damaged. And then, yeah, I wrote something else down, but I'm not going to mention that because that will be too much of a spoiler. So that's all my notes. And I really liked the film. The film was interesting as hell. Like, unique-wise, my God, it's definitely unique. Definitely a staple in Cronenberg's cycle of films. And something I'll want to rewatch over and over. I mean, the disturbing aspects are there, but like, it's films like this where like it'll be normal 99%, and then there's that one scene that you just can't unsee, and it happens, and you're just like that. But that's Cronenberg for you, like I said. I mean, if you watch The Fly, you know what Cronenberg's all about. The Fly remake from 1982 or 1984. I think it's 82, but I might be mistaken on the year. Yeah, I think 81 out of 100 would do for this film. 81 out of 100. Why out of 100? Because I hate decimals. and I think 81 definitely fits this one for a first time viewing. It had a direction, maybe I didn't understand its, you know, it's not that it's a bad direction, it's just a wild direction. It's like you want to have a theme for a film, and then you use this crazy ass bizarre metaphor that I could never even think of to write a screenplay. But like, gee, let's you like the ideas, man. The ideas, the creative ideas are just very unique. Okay, very unique film. That's The Brood from 1979, directed by David Cronenberg, Canadian film, Canadian genius, Canadian horror genius. Do not watch if you're squeamish. Well, it's right on the cover. Okay, the cover kind of gives away what will be going down. So that's going to be day 22. I will be back tomorrow for day 23, and it's going to be some interesting stuff. Day 23 and day 24's films are kind of related in a sense, but you know, that's going to be a surprise, right? So until then, I am Morgan Film Fan. Subscribe to Morgan Film Fan on YouTube and follow my Instagram if you'd like. And I've said about all I can say about The Brood. So, cheers and have a good night, and I will talk to you guys later.